Can a fortune that shapes generations rise from the frozen wilds of Canada, rooted in the cash box of a brothel? The Trump family saga begins exactly there. A tale of gold rush grit, a real estate empire tainted by accusations of racism, a sham university, and a leader who twice shook the world. How did this family climb to such heights? Was it a grandfather's shady dealings, a father's questionable financial maneuvers, or a grandson's unstoppable ambition? Ku Klux Klan rallies, tax evasion, impeachment trials. Each generation left its mark, steeped in secrets. This family has been both celebrated and vilified. Are you ready? This story will pull you in and leave you with one burning question. Can the Trump family hold on to the power they've wielded for generations? Friedrich Drumpf, 1869, Kallstadt, Germany. Friedrich Drumpf was born into a family of winemakers. At 16 in 1885, he slips away without a word to his family, boarding a ship to escape mandatory military service. He lands in New York's bustling port with just a few dollars in his pocket. There, he sheds his old name. Drumpf becomes Trump. It's not just a nod to Americanization. Back in Kallstadt, records still list him as Drumpf, but Friedrich is crafting a new identity. In 19th century New York, prejudice against German immigrants runs deep. Trump blends in, sounding more American, less conspicuous. Some argue that it was a calculated move to establish trust in the business world. Hiding his German roots seems to be the family's first strategy. By 1898, the Klondike Gold Rush was in full swing. Canada's Yukon Territory becomes a feverish hub of fortune seekers after gold is discovered in the Klondike River in 1896. Thousands flood Dawson City, braving frigid cold, muddy trails, and grueling mines. Most leave empty-handed. At 29, Friedrich sees opportunity in the chaos, not in mining, but in the miners themselves. He moves from Seattle to the Yukon and opens the Arctic Restaurant and Hotel in Dawson City's liveliest spot. It's a ramshackle wooden building, its sign promising hot meals, cozy beds. But the reality is different. The Arctic doubles as a brothel, its private rooms catering to miners' desires with a roster of women. A local newspaper in 1899 advertises it as offering service day and night, rooms for every taste. The Arctic gains notoriety as a house of vice, the gritty foundation of the Trump fortune. In Dawson City is a lawless place. Police raids, moral crusaders, and rival businesses threaten survival. Yet Friedrich thrives in this high-stakes world. By 1901, the Klondike's gold reserves dwindle, miners drift away, and Dawson City empties. Friedrich returns to Kallstadt with a sizable fortune. He marries Elizabeth Christ and plans to settle in Germany. But the Bavarian government hasn't forgotten his draft-dodging past. In 1905, he, his wife, and their children are deported, official records citing disloyalty to the homeland. Back in America, they settle in Queens. Friedrich opens a few modest businesses in the borough's growing neighborhoods. But his real profit comes from real estate speculation, buying and selling land, betting on rising property values. In 1918, the Spanish flu claims Friedrich at 49. He leaves behind roughly $30,000, about $500,000 in today's money. This nest egg becomes a springboard for his son, Fred. The brothel profits, the name change, the deportation, all shape the path Fred will follow. Fred Trump, 1905, the Bronx. Fred Trump grows up in his father's shadow, but at 13, the Spanish flu takes Friedrich, forcing Fred to start working. By 18, he and his mother, Elizabeth, build their first house. In 1927, they found E. Trump & Son. Queens and Brooklyn become Fred's turf. He masters the construction game, starting with single-family homes in the 1920s, affordable, no-frills houses for the middle class. By the 1930s, he's moved on to apartment complexes. During World War II, he builds barracks for the Navy. After the war, government-backed mortgage programs for veterans fuel his biggest projects. Shore Haven in Brooklyn, with 2,500 apartments, and Beach Haven, offering affordable homes for veterans, become massively profitable. Fred's formula is simple: build fast, keep costs low, maximize profit. By the 1950s, he's constructed over 27,000 units, earning the title of New York's real estate king, with projects stretching from Coney Island to Jamaica Estates in Queens. But his empire is marred by controversy early on. 1927, Queens. A Ku Klux Klan rally erupts. Fred, 22, is among the crowd. Police arrest him for refusing to disperse. His home just blocks from the rally site. Fred claims he was there by mistake and the charges are dropped. Local papers splash the story across their pages. In the 1920s, the KKK targets Italian and Jewish immigrants. Fred's real estate business thrives in these same neighborhoods. Some speculate his presence at the rally was a calculated move to align with local power dynamics, perhaps to protect his building's value or gain influence. Real estate agents of the era sometimes worked with groups like the KKK to keep neighborhoods white. No records confirm Fred's membership, but the incident casts a shadow over his reputation. And a bigger blow comes in 1973. The Justice Department sues Trump management for refusing to rent to black tenants. Undercover investigators catch employees saying, "We don't want blacks." Application forms are marked with a C for colored, and black applicants are systematically denied. In one case, a black couple is told an apartment is unavailable, only for it to be rented to a white couple the same day. The lawsuit settles in 1975, with the Trumps denying wrongdoing but agreeing to change their rental policies. Enter Roy Cohn, Fred's attorney. Cohn teaches him a mantra: never apologize, always attack. Cohn's ruthless tactics echo Friedrich's boundary-pushing ambition. He'll later mentor Fred's son Donald, cementing the family's aggressive approach. The biggest scandal, though, involves Fred's wealth transfers to Donald. In 2018, the New York Times reveals that Fred had funneled $413 million to Donald over decades. Starting in the 1950s, Fred sets up shell companies, funneling millions to Donald under the guise of gifts. In the 1990s, as a 90-year-old Fred supposedly consults for these companies, more cash flows to Donald. In 1991, with Donald's Atlantic City casinos teetering on collapse, Fred visits Trump's Castle Casino, buys millions of dollars in chips, and doesn't play. The chips become cash for Donald. The New Jersey Gaming Commission calls it an illegal loan, fining the Trumps $30,000. In 1999, Fred dies at 93, leaving a $300 million empire. Friedrich's brothel money has grown into a juggernaut, now in Donald's hands, a launch pad for even grander ventures. Donald Trump, 1946, Queens. Donald Trump is born in Fred's lavish mansion. Raised under strict discipline at New York Military Academy, he studies economics at the University of Pennsylvania. In 1971, he takes the helm of the Trump Organization. He builds Trump Tower in Manhattan, a 58-story beacon of luxury, by 1983. He opens casinos in Atlantic City, Trump Plaza, Trump Taj Mahal. But his empire is turbulent. Donald faces 6 business bankruptcies, his casinos drowning in debt. By the 1990s, his debts top $3.4 billion. In 1991, Fred's millions in casino chips save him from ruin. In 2004, The Apprentice hits the airwaves. NBC's reality show casts Donald as a business genius. Contestants compete in business challenges, vying for a job at the Trump Organization. Donald commands the boardroom, his "you're fired" catchphrase becoming a pop culture staple. The show runs for 14 seasons, drawing millions. But behind the scenes, Donald tells producers, "I picked the winner, not the votes." A producer later claims Donald rigged results to favor his chosen contestant. The show paints him as a legend, but without Fred's money in the 1990s, he was inches from bankruptcy. Friedrich's Yukon opportunism, Fred's tax schemes, Donald inherits and amplifies this legacy. In 2005, Trump University launches with bold promises: become a billionaire like Donald Trump. Seminars pop up from New York to Los Angeles, with tuition ranging from $1,500 to $35,000. The pitch? Insider secrets to real estate success. The reality? Basic business tips, motivational speeches, and Trump-branded pamphlets. Instructors aren't real estate experts, but sales coaches. One student recalled, "They took our photo with a Trump cutout but taught us nothing." Another says, "They pressured us to sign up for pricier courses." In 2010, New York State declares university a misnomer. It's not a school. By 2013, students file lawsuits alleging fraud and deceptive advertising. In 2016, Donald settles for $25 million. He becomes the 45th president. His campaign is a lightning rod, anti-immigrant rhetoric, media feuds. The White House years are chaotic. In 2019, the Ukraine scandal erupts. On July 25, 2019, Donald calls Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, urging him to investigate Joe Biden and his son Hunter's Ukraine dealings, warning him not to trust them. He holds up $400 million in military aid. A whistleblower leaks the call. Congress investigates, Democrats calling it an abuse of power. On December 18, 2019, the House impeaches him. On February 5, 2020, the Senate acquits him, with Republicans voting along party lines. In 2020, he loses the election but refuses to concede. On January 6, 2021, his supporters storm the Capitol to halt the certification of results. 5 die. Hundreds are injured. Donald calls the mob patriots. On January 13th, a second impeachment follows, charging him with incitement of insurrection. On February 13th, the Senate acquits him again, but the event stains his legacy. In 2024, Donald returns as the 47th president. His second term is a whirlwind of controversy. He slaps hefty tariffs on steel, drugs, tech, and other imports, shaking global markets and prompting retaliation from China, the EU, and Canada. His immigration policies harden. The Lake and Riley Act blocks asylum seekers, drug cartels are labeled terrorists, and mass deportations begin. He pulls out of the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Accord, lifts gift bans for federal employees, and loosens anti-corruption laws. In the Russia-Ukraine war, Trump pushes for a quick resolution in 2025. He sends envoy Steve Witkoff to Moscow with a ceasefire proposal. Ukraine agrees, but Putin resists. Trump halts aid to Ukraine, offers concessions to Russia, and demands from Ukraine rare earth elements in exchange for past U.S. support. He publicly scolds Zelensky at the White House, securing his terms. In the Israel-Iran conflict, Trump backs Israel. U.S.-supported strikes hit Iran's nuclear facilities, with American planes directly involved. He floats a provocative idea, bringing Gaza under U.S. control. He cracks down on alleged anti-Semitism on college campuses, warning Iran, come to the table or face the consequences. In 2024, Trump appoints Elon Musk to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, DOG. Musk fires 250,000 federal workers and shutters agencies like USAID, promising $2 trillion in savings, but achieving only $180 billion. In 2025, Trump's new spending bill undermines Doge's goals. Musk criticizes it. Trump calls him a subsidy beggar. By July 2025, Musk quits Doge and Tesla's stock dips. Their alliance crumbles. The Trump name never leaves the headlines. Friedrich's brothel in the Yukon, Fred's KKK rally, his tax dodges, Donald's fake university, impeachments, and tumultuous presidency. The Trump family rose on ambition and stumbled on scandal. Each generation left a trail of secrets. Friedrich's reinvention as Trump, Fred's real estate dominance, Donald's chaotic leadership. Will the Trump name endure as a force after Donald? Or will it fade into history's dusty pages? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share to keep exploring.